We are happy that you are here. That means you want to further develop in your life. Thank you for joining us when we talk about mindset, motivation, discipline, how to defeat struggle, and how to take responsibility for your own happiness. I am your host Joakim, and together with me is the co-host and my sister Annika. Let's make a 101% effort in making our lives the best we can. Welcome back, everyone. We are so happy that you are here with us. The person you are today is not the person you have to be tomorrow. Growth isn't about luck. It's about the habit you build, the mindset you cultivate, and the actions you take every single day. In this episode, we break down the key to personal development, helping you unlock your full potential and create the future you deserve. Ready to level up? Okay, great. Let's get started. So, personal development, Annika, what is that?
It is everything. It is the core of unleashing your full potential and being the best version of yourself. And I think we talk a lot about this in this podcast. And I think that personal development is something that everyone has to always keep in mind and always bring along with us, because that's what's going to give you your happiness and lead you to your success.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a so exciting journey to work on yourself and become a better, interesting, more funny, kinder human being on all the areas. It is not so many things that is more exciting than that. And life is a journey, and you only travel through it one time, and then you have to make sure to give it your best.
Definitely. And I think that we should not take anything for granted in life. We are so privileged to be here and have this chance to make it our best life, to prepare for our afterlife, and to be happy. And how do you do that? I think you always have to improve, as Joachim talk a lot about, canny, constant and never-ending improvement. That's the way of life, because I think you have to stop and analyze, what are you doing? Where are you going? Are you en route? And if not, what are you lacking? Is there anything that feels empty or that you are needing in your life? Okay, how will you find that and fill that emptiness? So always analyze and be honest with yourself. If not, you'll never get the answers you really need if you're not asking yourself the right questions.
And it is many different areas to work on your personal development. You can work on yourself on mentally, spiritually, physically, and work on your health and nutrition. You can learn yourself meditation to be more calm, about knowledge. You can be a better communicator, a more funny and interesting person. You can be a better parent, a better friend, a better human being. Everything you think about that can make you to a greater person is about personal development.
Definitely. It provides you with all of the answers that you need. And we are just finished recording the previous episode, the conversation with Thomas Formoe. And wow, this man has understood it all. He is such an icon to personal development. Like, he is the definition of what I think are the greatest values with personal development, how he has worked through his life, how he view society, life, business, mindset, health, nutrition, sleep, all of these things that we have been talking a lot about. He has thrown himself into it and learned himself so much knowledge that he now puts in to place in his life, and that is also helping other people with by his coaching. So he is definitely a man to check out. And if you have not yet listened to the previous episode, I really strongly recommend you to do it.
Yeah, it was a great interview with Thomas Formoe. Very knowledgeable man, know a lot about everything, and but not only that, he know a lot about anything, but he have also tried it by himself and actually see if the things he have learned works. So it's a He's a great man about personal development, so absolutely check it out. thomasformood.com.
Definitely. And it is a lot about the things that he says that has so much value, but also it's the person he is. We had almost 2 hours with him, a conversation first and after, and then an episode of about 90 minutes there. And we felt so pumped afterwards that we didn't really need a break. We just grabbed another coffee and went straight back into the new recording, because it is about how he makes you feel. He charges your batteries. He brings light into your day. And I've known this man for over 6 years, and he's always like that. So genuine, so good charisma, and just a charger. So a great warm shout out to him.
Absolutely. So personal development, it's a very exciting journey, and you and me, Annika, have worked about this one for so long time. I cannot remember when we start, but it have been maybe for 15 years for me. How long do you think about you, Annika?
I can't remember a start either, but I can remember when I was a little girl, very young, I was playing outside in the summer. I have many childhood memories from I was very young, actually, before like preschool age. When I was 4 to 5 years old, I remember some things. And I remember that as far as I can recall, I've always thought about my future, dreamt about a better future, creating a better future, the life that I wanted to live. And I was very young when I said that I was going to be a psychologist. I think I was 8 years old when that was my dream. And then it changed a bit to becoming a social worker and then to MMA. But I've always had this fire. So I don't know. Personal development has just always been a part of me, a desire and a focus. But I started taking it a lot more serious when I was around 17, I would say, when I moved to America and lived a year abroad. I had a lot of time on my own in the airplanes where I was living when I was alone. I was training a lot. This is when I started taking training really seriously, doing track and field, volleyball, strength lift, or like weightlifting, strength and conditioning. And that's when I really started leveling up. Me and you were calling each other a lot, and you started telling me about MMA. This is when I started looking into Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, books. I was reading a lot, listening a lot to audiobooks. So for real, this process expanded a lot. That was in 2015. Yeah, so yeah, 10 years.
Years, yeah. Long time, and changed so much on that time.
That is very true. And I wanted to share something with you guys. I'll see how this works for all of you that are watching our show on YouTube. But we have been talking about a model in our studies that is called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Can you see it, Joakim?
Yes, look great.
Okay, nice.
And professional also.
Very good. This is not my work, but I'm borrowing it. So this is a pyramid of needs that we talk a lot about in our studies, that how can you work on these things up here when the foundation is missing. So as you can see in the bottom, you have to have these psychological needs to survive. Basically, you need water, you need air, food, shelter, sleep. You know, if you don't have these things, how can you focus about starting a business or this kind of thing, expanding your life? So of course we need to have this first. So what I want to say is that you have to start like in the right direction in a way. You have to start from the beginning. These things need to be in place in your life before you can go up to the next level. You have to feel security. You have to have these kind of needs before evolving, and then looking into love and relationships and these kind of things. And then at the top of this pyramid, we can see personal development coming really into place with like self-esteem, desire to become the most that one can be is on the very top. But I want to kind of say that I'm not completely agreeing with this model, because I don't think you need every phase of this pyramid before you can work up there, the desire to become the most that one can be. Because of course you need the most basic needs, food, shelter, water, these kind of things, and have to kind of build yourself up. But this desire that's on the very top of this hierarchy is maybe what's going to get you from level 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 and stuff. So I think that you don't need to wait for the perfect timing to start with personal development. Just start. Focus on getting a safe place, and then start listening to audiobooks, which is super efficient with your time, or read books, or listen to YouTube videos, listen to our podcast, listen to other podcasts, really dig deep, and then you will go these steps, step by step, up through towards your happiness.
Yeah, it was a great model. And how can you make time to this? That's where time management come inside. You have to manage your time right. Yeah, people is busy, they have a lot of things going on, but it's amazing when you start planning your time, how much time you really actually can find. Because, yeah, a lot of people look a lot of movie, TV series, Netflix, scroll a lot on TikTok and things like this. And when you start to do that less, you get much more time to work, for example, on personal development, who will take your life to a better place, and also that make that you became a better person to be around. So that is absolutely something you should do. So just plan it and do it.
Definitely. And that is my whole point with showing you this pyramid as well, because what we teach about this model is that you need the basic needs before you can go up to the next level, before you can expand and expand. But that's the idea I want to challenge, because I think that if you base your personal development on that, maybe you will never even start. If you think, okay, but then I need a relationship, and then I can start working on this, and then I can go up to the personal development fulfillment, then you're really going in a slow pace. And I think that working on yourself is something you always have to do. Really digging deep into the personal development is something you always have to do, and there is no excuses. Yeah, I'll prioritize myself later. Maybe next year is a good time to start. We cannot think like that, because we owe it to ourselves to hold us to higher standards. Why shall you be unhappy for one more year or one more week or something like that? Why? I see no good reasons to think that way.
Yeah, you have to start to create your future self.
Mm-hmm.
And consistency and discipline is always the key. And start small, little bit by little bit, you build habit, and don't compare yourselves to other. You can use other to look up to and be inspired and motivated, but don't compare yourself to them. You compare yourself to yourself today and tomorrow, or to you next week or next month or next year. It's not a battle against anyone. It's a battle against yourself to become the better version of yourself.
Definitely. And I want to ask you, this just came to my mind, but just a quick impulsive answer. What is the most important thing you have learned through personal development, Joakim? And what are your goals with personal development in the next year?
The best thing I have learned about personal development that I can do so much more than I think I can do.
Mm-hmm.
So when I start doing it and I believe in myself, I have found out that it's no limit of how far I can go.
Mm-hmm.
Because hard work, discipline, and determination will take you to super places.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not with me, that is with everyone, because every people can go so much more far and can achieve so much more than they believe they could. So
Mm-hmm.
just start in the small and build you up. So that was the one of the question. And what was the second again?
What is the goals with your personal development through the next following year?
That is to become much more rawer and better on all the area. For
Mm-hmm.
example, not to brag, just to tell the honest truth, I am in very good shape now. But when this year is finished, I would like to be in much better shape, better boxer, better kickboxer. I would like to eat more healthy food. I would like to be more clearer and calm in my brain. I would like to know much better in my communication skill, more funnier, be together with, get better in business. I would like to be a much better father than I am now, better friend, better son, better human being. So everything, I would like to be better. And I am proud of myself now. I know I'm good in anything, but I always would like to be better. Because if I'm not gonna be better, I'm gonna be less.
Okay, because there you just answered the next question I have, because you are a great father, you are in great shape, you are a great communicator, you are a great businessman, you are great at all of these things. So why improve? But now you just answered it, that if improvement is not the focus, then you will go be less. And you have told me this many times. You have imprinted it in my mind that you never stand still. Either you go forward or you go backward.
That's totally true.
So take a moment now for our listeners to think about this, reflect upon these two questions. What is the most important thing you have learned through personal development? And what is the goal with it for the next month and for the next year?
Yeah. And someone did told me a long time ago that your life start at the end of your comfort zone. So it's a personal development. You have to challenge yourself. You have to do things that you worry to do. And so, for example, in this podcast business, this was all new for me and Annika. And I was very anonymous before. I didn't like to be on the social media and like this. I didn't want anyone know who I was. And this business was all new for me and Annika. We have never done podcast before. We have never run this business. But yeah, it was scary, a little bit scary. But before that, I just speak for myself now. I start to make a group for my family in Snapchat and start to post video to them, write things just for my closest family, just to get up my tolerance and make it normal for me. I do that more. Sometimes I video film me and send video of them and do it more and more. And then it became less and less scary. And later, when I feel I was ready, I just start to post publicly. Yeah, and it was not so scary, but a little bit, and I do it more and more. And after some weeks, it was not scary. It was just normal. And this is about everything in the life. And me and Annika did at least around 32 episodes before we have our first guest, if I didn't remember wrong.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I nailed it, as always.
Yes, that is for sure.
That was good. And we was we would like to do a normal podcast for a long time, only solo me and Annika. And we're gonna start to have our guest. And we feel, maybe we should do more. But just to a point, we have to decide, okay, no, we're just gonna do it. And we prepare ourselves as good as we can. And when you prepare yourself as good as you can, it often becomes success. And I think the first episode was a great episode. And this is about everything in life, yeah? You just have to prepare you a little bit, and then you just start.
Definitely. And it is so rewarding to step out of your comfort zone, because that's where opportunities are found. And when we started inviting guests to our podcast, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves because we needed things to be more professional. We needed to be more up to speed with everything. Like, everything was very well planned. And also, it was so rewarding. All the guests we have had has been extremely great episodes. It has fueled our motivation and inspiration. And those connections and conversations has just been so extremely valuable.
Yeah, I learned so much, and it has been very interesting to get to know them, know stories, learn from them, and interact with them. So it's have been so fulfilled.
Definitely. And I've been thinking a lot about what Elmin told us. He was telling us in the episode that he lost his father. His father was murdered as one of the very first victims in the war from Bosnia. And he grew up without a father figure, without a mentor. And he talked about the issues of that. Thomas Formo also talked about the issues of, like, you need a feminine character, your mom, and you need a masculine character, your father. And when you lack something in them or them, things will become difficult. So you kind of need a replacement. And what Elmin did was that he went into personal development as a solution to this. He started reading books, creating his own gym. He built his own handmade gym, started training, started finding all of these values that he needed, that no one taught him. He's self-made. He taught himself all of these things. And that shows the value of personal development. It is everything. It gives you everything that you need. You just have to look for it, because personal development, we're talking a lot about in these areas, and you can do it in this way. That is tools to help you on your way, but you have to find out what is your need. Create your own way, because personal development is so broad. You have to go the path that you need to go within it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was episode 38 about when Elmin Sibchik was here. Very interesting guy and knows so much about personal development, and it's so interesting to see how everything he had learned himself through personal development and what a character he had became. So everyone, I recommend to check out this episode, and a lot to learn from him.
Definitely. And something that I've thought a lot about in my life is that personal development, when I meet someone that has looked into these kind of things, I get a lot more inspiration to get to know this person even more. Because a person that has worked on themselves, I just get a lot more happy about it, a lot more respect, a lot more interest. If they have looked into some diets or training or mindset or self-help books or something like this, it tells me that they are open to become better. They are aware that there's something they want to change. And everyone should be aware that there is something that needs improvement in ourselves, because no one is perfect. And the people that has realized this, I get a lot more respect for, because they can teach me something. I'm very interested in it. And then I've thought a lot about it in the people that I met, that the people that has had a good, safe life, or that has worked through their challenges and traumas or issues, they are more resilient when life is hard. And resilience means the ability to bounce back when something is difficult. Let's say you're in a car accident, that is a trauma. How well can you recover from it? Because it is hard, it is a trauma, it is extremely sad. Maybe physical and mental hardship comes with it. And how well are you capable of dealing with it and move on in your life, to bounce back to how life was in a way? And this is something that we need to teach our kids by what we give them: safety, love, these kind of things. And this is something that me and Joakim have been talking about, and I've been talking about it with many people. And this comes from our parents and our circle, but it also can be taught to yourself through personal development. What values do you worship? What kind of focuses do you have within yourself to improve, so that you are more robust in life? This is something that I need to work a lot more on, because I've told you all that in some periods of my life things are difficult. My thoughts are more sad. I'm more anxious. I'm more stressed out. I'm struggling more with these kind of dark periods that I've told you about previously. And then my goal is to work even more. That's also a reason why we started the podcast, to leave our comfort zone, to step out and to keep evolving within our personal development, to become even more robust and to handle these kind of challenging periods in a better way.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And that's all what this podcast is about. We would like to help as many people as possible to get a much better life, to become best version of themselves, and to reach their full potential. It's a lot of good motivation, mindset, how to defeat struggle, how to push yourself. So we would like to reach out as many people as possible. So if you can do that, it has been great if you can share this podcast so we can get it out as many people as possible, and as many people as possible can get improvement and get a better life. That has been great.
We would appreciate it so highly, because even just leaving a star on our Spotify show or writing a short description on Apple Podcasts, it would help us a lot to grow the show. So we would highly appreciate it. And to just share it on your profiles, because our passion is this.
And when you're gonna do something and push yourself, I talked about it before, but you have to be proud of yourself and keep your word to yourself. If you tell yourself you're gonna do something, you have to do it. For example, if you're gonna train 2 times next week, then you have to do it. And you can trick everyone else, you can say, I did it, but I didn't, but you cannot trick yourself. And that's the most important thing. And you have to be proud and, okay, I told myself I'm gonna do it, then I'm gonna do it. And a strong body create also a strong mind. You feel so much better when you are in shape. And you train good, and when you train good and put a lot of effort in that, you also eat healthier, because you not want to train hard and eat shit. If you train hard and use so much effort on that, you would put in your healthy food, and if you put in healthy food, you feel much better. And if you feel much better and do some other things, you will likely sleep better also. And if you still have problem with that, you have to check out episode 41, how to improve your sleep. That was a great episode and absolutely improved my sleep.
Very educative, and that is what this podcast is all about: to improve ourselves, to help you improve, and to spread a lot of knowledge. And something I want to really emphasize is that what is the nutrition that you fuel your body with for your physical health, but also what is the nutrition that you feed your brain with? If you're watching TikTok all day, is it really rewarding? Of course, we can use TikTok for a good way. We can find motivation and inspiration and knowledge about what to cook, how to improve our sleep, how to improve these things. But also, all of these platforms are made to fill your brains with a lot of nonsense as well. Something we also talked about in the previous episode with Thomas Formo is that I believe that who runs the world, who's behind this all society concept and what they want to feed us with, they don't want you to expand. So if you want to really focus on your personal development and take your life to new levels, you have to say goodbye to some things. And those things are the people and the things that want to control your mind, that doesn't want you to expand above what they want you to achieve.
And if you're gonna start something, just start small, think small, create a small habit. You do it day after day or sometimes every week, and then you create a routine, and then you do it consistent, and you use discipline. And that's the tricks. And it's so much easier to keep doing things when you do it on a consistent basic. Me and Annika is very hard on ourselves, and we are very disciplined, and we push ourselves very hard. But even if me and Annika stop to do something, and then we start to do it a little bit, and then we stop again, it is very difficult for all also. So the most easiest thing is to do it consistent and have routine and be inside that circle.
Mm-hmm.
And also try to stay around a lot of positive people that motivate you, cheer for you, and lift you up. That will absolutely increase your life. And if you would like, it have been great if you could donate a small amount to this podcast so we can keep growing and get out the message to as many people as possible, because we burn for it to help as much people as possible. Because we see our ourselves, when we have worked hard on ourselves for so long time, but we have it very good with ourselves because we do so many of the things we say.
And something I wanted to mention is that there are no excuses. It is extremely scary to be the kind of person that has a victim mentality and find excuses everywhere you go, because as Joakim mentioned, you are tricking yourself. It's not going to help you get anywhere if you keep fooling yourself and being so kind to yourself that you never do what you say you do. Because as Joakim say, if you tell yourself that you're going to train 2 times this week, you have to do it. Because if you don't, you kind of lose respect for your own determination. And that is a scary road to go down. This is a pitfall in personal development. So it's very important to be aware of it and to don't fall down. And if you're going into the wrong direction, stop it. Have this honest conversation with yourself and then go hard at it again and start in the small. And I want to read you a quote that Elmin said in a previous podcast he was in, because there are no excuses. And he referred to the quote that goes like this: "The same water that hardens the egg softens the potato. It is about what you're made of, not about the circumstances."
Great quote. Everyone get a card when they was born. Someone was more lucky than others, get good thing, good safety home, good parents, everything. Someone have money and safety. Someone didn't have anything. Someone have abusive parents, drug alcoholic. Maybe someone was born in war. That's the most lucky one. Everyone get the card, but it's up to you to take the card and make it as best as you can. And one thing also great to think about is to practice gratitude. Become a better person. Every day in the morning, I thanks God. One of the first thing I do in the morning, I thanks God I can wake up today. I'm healthy, clear in my mind. My body is healthy. Stay with my amazing daughter. I have a good family, good friends, and I'm so lucky I live in a safe country where there's no war, and have food on the table. And I think about this one every day, and I get a good feeling inside myself, and I became a much better person. And also I think a lot about good things in my life, and I stop and I very appreciate it and thank God so much for that, because nothing is for granted in life. Yeah, you have to appreciate the good things.
This is so powerful what you say here, because you always tell us about your ambitions. You have so high ambitions. You work so hard, but you're not arrogant. You're extremely humble. You know where you come from. You know where you're going, and you know that everything comes from God. You thank God every morning, every evening, throughout the day. And I do that a lot too. And after I reverted, I say Alhamdulillah to everything. Like, thank you to Allah for everything. And everything is Bismillah before I eat or before I fight or do something, because it is in the name of God. Because when you are close to God, you are more grateful, and the value of that is that when you are grateful, He will reward you with even more, because we are so lucky to have what we have, and everything comes from Him, all success, everything. So you have to be appreciative and you have to be grateful, because you have something that other people would give everything to have. And if you take that for granted, it is not a good thing.
And you became a much more positive person also. You appreciate things, thanks for things, positive energy, calmer inside of you. So it's a great thing. And focus on the good things and positive things, and positive energy will come. Or if you focus on the negative and send out negative, you will attract negative. The law of attraction is very powerful.
Extremely powerful. And what you say there is the key. If you are grateful, you are positive, and it's a very good vibe around you. But if you are negative, you become bitter, and your energy kind of become toxic. And I just cannot hang out with people that spread this kind of vibe. It steals my energy and everything. So I'm shielding myself from that kind of energy these days.
Smart. So Annika, say people work hard about This one, they work hard about their personal development. Someone start to walk more outside, come out in the nature, feel the wind and see the beautiful sunsets and the trees and like this, and someone work hard about know more, learn themselves new skills, training, becoming more in shape, and others project also, yeah. And it's so important. You have told me many times you have to celebrate those small victories. But do you have some example of ways people can celebrate those small victories?
I think something can be in physical things, like you can buy that perfume you have been looking for, or kind of these things, symbols that will celebrate your mind. Because the reason this is important is the pain and pleasure, as Tony Robinson is talking about, that Joakim had 2 episodes, Awaken the Giant Within, where he's talking a lot about pain and pleasure to your mind. Your mind need to associate pleasure after hard work, because that's how it can program itself to keep on working hard. So it can be physical things like that, but I also think it's so important to evaluate, to sit, watch the sunset and think, wow, now I did get that job. I really got it. I made it. Because then new doors will open in your mind, and you need to celebrate the good things by acknowledging them as well, by seeing your progress. Because I think if you don't do that, you will lose track of progress. If you never sit down and evaluate, you won't even know that you're moving forward. And that's when you might lose hope and get impatient and all of these things. And that's a very scary thing.
That's great advice. Celebrate the victories so you can associate success with pleasure. Not just go on all the time and not celebrate. Sit down and reflect with it. Go outside with a coffee, sit, reflect. Do something you would like to do for a long time, yeah, as Annika say.
Definitely. And I want to say that our listeners has very different ambitions. Some want to be the best UFC fighter in the world. Some want to be the best CEO, start their own company, or grow their company they already have. And some of our listeners don't have those kind of ambitions. But personal development is as important for all of our listeners, for every individual in the world, because it is the recipe to happiness, to your happiness, to your potential. You are responsible for your happiness, and personal development is the recipe to get there.
This episode was recorded February 20, 2025. In the show note, you will find the link to our homepage, the 101percentpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our free weekly newsletter, donate to our podcast, and all the information about subscription as you need. Take care and give it your best. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. It is important for us to get out our message so we can help as many people as possible. And we will highly appreciate it if you could take 1 minute of your time to follow us on social media and review the show on Apple Podcast and Spotify. All links are below. Our Instagram is the 101% podcast. Until next time, take care and go 101% into achieving your goals. You owe it to yourself.